The people of Southern Sudan are very, very much united. You can see that in the way they voted for secession.
Registered Sudanese voters began casting their ballots in southern Sudan's independence referendum. Thousands of those registered voters are right here in Nebraska and the surrounding region. There was a huge turnout at one of the voting stations set up at 45th and Fort. Southern Sudan has endured decades of internal strife and civil war with the country's north. The vote will decide whether to draw a border between the north, where mostly Arab and Muslim people live, and the south, populated mostly by blacks who are Christian. Those casting ballots today stress the importance of independence.
I'm really very excited for this vote because I'm determining my self-determination for Southern Sudan. We are tired. Since my grandparents, since 1950s, they've been suffering. Running from country to country, from Sudan to Uganda, from Uganda to Sudan, and now we run from Sudan to America. That's why we are here for. We don't care about this snow. We are happy. We are excited. We don't feel the cold. We're really happy. We want our freedom. We are tired.
That shows a very high level of unanimity and, oneness of mind in Southern Sudan, and it was peaceful. Violence resurfaced in Southern Sudan, but this is induced from the north. So you put the problems first, then you end with solutions, briefing on what has.
The governor of Southern Sudan was seriously concerned about the violence in Southern Sudan, and we have actually called the Security Council meeting to investigate the destabilization in Southern Sudan that the government of Sudan and the National Congress Party has launched in Jonglei and in Upper Nile and in Unity State and also in Abyei.
Well, I just heard that this meeting was set up when the negotiations with the National Congress Party were entirely off, and that because they're back on, it was sort of that there'll be no outcome. Were you looking for a particular outcome? Were you looking for the council to officially, by resolution or presidential statement, say something to Khartoum?
Absolutely. We are here seeking the support of the Security Council to prevail and bring pressures to bear on the National Congress to stop its destabilization of Southern Sudan and to focus on the negotiation of post-referendum arrangement. And this is what we have now achieved from the meeting. This meeting is very, very important as it helps us to focus on peace and maintaining peace and avoid proxy war in Southern Sudan by National Congress Party.
And His Excellency Pagan informed the Security Council and actually presented to them the linkages between militias that are actually creating insecurity in the south with the government of Sudan headed by Bashir, President Bashir. And the Security Council agreed to investigate this destabilization in the south through United Nations mission in Sudan and report to the council the findings. And those who are responsible must be held accountable.
The fact that it was a closed meeting, official meeting of the Security Council, it was good because it allowed for more candid discussions of the matter, and questions and answers were exchanged in that meeting, which was good.
So this information was brought to the attention of the Security Council. This is what is happening, and the linkages. And the Security Council reacted by calling a meeting and inviting the two parties and telling them that we are going to actually investigate through the United Nations mission in Sudan. And these people, they will report back to us. This is one thing that we have achieved.
What can UNMISS actually do on the ground to stop this assistance to McCall and others by the National Congress Party?
We are happy that the Security Council has also called on UNMISS to be part of the investigation. And of course, the UNMISS is sharing now the committee that is formed by both parties to investigate the accusations that we have brought and the documents that were put forward. And we expressed to the Security Council the government of Southern Sudan readiness to cooperate with the investigation for the truth to come out. Yes, we ask for UN focus on security, particularly the need for a UN deployment of UN forces along the border, because this is where problems are now, and all these militia elements are crossing from the north into the south. We want the UN to be involved in ensuring to manage a buffer zone between the south and the north.
And I think this is actually something that we have achieved, because even though there is a problem in Libya, Yemen and other places, the Sudan remain the top priority of the Security Council.
The representative of Sudan was very uncomfortable. They did not want, and he was complaining, they did not want the meeting, and he was complaining that nobody heeded to him and tried to dismiss the issues, but it was very clear that they lacked arguments, and it was very clear to the members that they were involved, and they are really involved in destabilizing Southern Sudan. He did actually say that what was happening in Southern Sudan was a Southern problem, that they were not involved, which was a standard, statements that they make.
They called upon the government of Southern Sudan to achieve reconciliation between the SPLM and the other factions.
Our plan is to build a multi-party democracy. We are committed to create a space, but if the NCP is creating violence and some of these groups are being armed, definitely this will harm the process of political openness and the political space that we're trying to create. It was a very good meeting. China clearly showed their interest in maintaining peace and security all over the Sudan, in the north and the south.
Thank you.
And they said this was clearly not only in the interest of the north and the south, but also in the Chinese interest.
What we have achieved now is to bring it to the attention of the world so that they can pressure the National Congress Party to stop destabilizing the South, because now they are caught red-handed and they don't want to be seen like they are destabilizing. And the best way to do that is to stop. So we have achieved these three objectives.
And Khartoum was exposed in those meetings, and we have achieved the Council demanding a thorough investigation of their plans to destabilize Southern Sudan. They were demanded to stop proxy war against the South, which was very good. The militia groups were mentioned clearly as being supported from Khartoum, whether the Lama-Col militia groups or Georgia Thor militia groups and others. And now, from the diplomatic point of view, we have achieved a victory. Investigation is going to take place. A report is going to be raised to the Security Council. And this is now going to be a matter of the international legality.
And with that meeting yesterday that we had in the Security Council, it is very clear that the North get the message and they will not create instability in the South. And also, we will continue in that direction, making sure that the world is informed. So that
the Sudan People's Liberation Army claims these men belong to a rebel group led by Gatkuoth Guy. They were ambushed in southern Sudan's unity state. Officials say 32 rebels were captured, 6 killed. 15 have been brought to southern Sudan's capital, Juba.
As you can see, all of them are Southern Sudanese, being organized in the north, armed in the north, sent to the south to come and fight a baseless war so that they undermine the referendum and outcome is not for the people of Southern Sudan.
Officials in the south have regularly accused the north of arming militias to destabilize the region, an allegation Khartoum denies. Those captured say more are still out there.
Polling station. We were told to attack polling stations during the referendum. We were given weapons, AK rifles, RPGs, and ordered to fight. There were more than 200 of us in the group.
This latest incident is a reminder of the deep internal divisions in the south, divisions that could lead to conflict. These prisoners will be taken away by members of the SPLA and interrogated to get as much information as they can out of them. This latest clash, so close to the referendum, shows how insecure southern Sudan still is. It was hoped a ceasefire agreement signed between another rebel leader, George Ator, and the SPLA earlier in the week would improve security. Officials tried to allay fears of possible unrest during and after the referendum.
From our side as the government of Southern Sudan, we promise you an atmosphere of calm and guaranteed security as you exercise your democratic right to determine your destiny according to your free will.
Logistically, officials say everything is ready for the referendum. Around 4 million people have registered to vote, but there are still huge challenges. Ensuring a peaceful environment during voting is perhaps the most pressing. Despite some uncertainty on how peaceful the referendum will be, some who want to separate from the north are already celebrating. Harun Matasa, Al Jazeera, Juba, Southern Sudan.